afternoon.
We talked about how the bye week being early is kind of nice from an injury standpoint. I just want to ask, of the guys that are out right now, of Cansey and Dean and Dennis, is it reasonable to think they could be practicing next week and then playing against the Lions?
I would hope so. We'll see how they progress this week. They have a week to get better, and we'll reevaluate it once the next week starts, but you would hope to have a lot of people back by then.
With Kalijah, the fact that you guys didn't put him on IR normally would say you didn't think he was going to miss 4 games, basically. Has that been a more serious injury than expected, or just kind of being careful to make sure he gets back healthy?
Well, it's kind of pain as tolerated type of deal. You want him 100%. He came back last time. He felt it a little bit, so you want to be a little more cautious this time.
Todd, of the players that got injured in yesterday's game, Ryan Neal and Mike Evans, any updates on them?
Not at this time. They got to get some tests run when they come in. We'll have later updates later.
Todd, can you talk about the play of Luke Gedeke at right tackle? Usually Cam Jordan can be a thorn in your side, but it looks like, look at the film, that he did a very credible job against Cam.
Luke has played well the last 4 games. I mean, it wasn't just this game. Cam's a great player, obviously. Luke's a lot more comfortable at right tackle. He's at home now. He understands it. He loves the scheme. He works hard as anybody. Him and Tristan worked out together all summer, and he's holding his own. He's playing well. You don't notice him because he's not giving up many plays, and he's doing a heck of a job for us.
Coach, on that long drive you guys had for the first touchdown, there was an array of plays, right? You had end arounds to Tompkins, you had shovel passes, you had even Chris Godwin throwing a pass, I think, at one point. Don't know if he's done that since high school, so we'll do it again. But just the ability or the willingness, I guess, of your offensive coordinator to pull those out in a singular drive, and does it keep everybody stimulated? And what's your feeling about that array of different plays?
I mean, I love it. It's important to keep teams off balance when you got them on the run. You don't want to do the same things over and over again. It keeps everybody interested. Everybody can touch the ball on offense. Makes everybody want to play harder, play faster, and it's motivational. And, he did a heck of a job calling it.
I think it was first week of training camp when you said, we write our own narrative in response to some national media criticism. Sitting here in Green One, just how much fun are you having with the guys in that locker room right now?
I mean, it hadn't changed. We were having fun in the beginning. Again, we write our own narrative. It doesn't make us any difference whether they say we're good or bad. We write our own narrative. We create our own narrative. Everybody loves each other in this building. We play for each other. We coach for each other, and we're having fun with it.
Yesterday you mentioned that this team is morphing into a physical team, so I'm just curious if there's a specific area where you noticed it most, whether it's a position group or a moment over the past couple of games.
I don't think it was a position group. I think it's the team as a whole. We've been playing tough. We've made mistakes, no question about it. We've been playing tough, and we give ourselves a chance. We clean up the mistakes, we got a chance to be a decent team.
Tom, your team is still growing in terms of developing an identity, but through the first 4 games, have you seen an identity emerge on offense or defense where you're getting a sense of who the 2023 Buccaneers will be?
We're close. We're not there yet. I figure 1 or 2 more games, hopefully, with the bye week. Once you get everybody back, we have a chance to blend everybody in. We'll get a chance to see that.
They leaned heavy on the screens to Kamara, and he's a guy that can be dangerous in the open field. It seemed like your tackling was really sound. I think he had 13 catches for 33 yards. Nobody's ever had that many catches and that few yards. How much did that help just keeping him under control in space?
I mean, it helped out a lot. I mean, he's a dangerous back, and with Carr being a little banged up, we figured they'd try to get the ball out a little quicker. He caught a lot of balls, but to limit the yak yards was important for us.
Todd, your team has done a great job with the takeaways, and it actually matches where you were at this time last year with 10 through the first 4 games. What's the key to keeping this takeaway train rolling for you guys?
Just being aware where the ball is, punching the ball out when we get a chance, taking opportunities to get interceptions once he throws a bad pass and an errant pass, and us capitalizing on it and just securing the ball. The guy's been real conscious of that this year. We're conscious of that every year. It just flows a certain way at certain points in time, and we just got to keep it going.
One of those guys getting a takeaway for you is Steve Delaney, who's now picks in back-to-back games for you coming in off the bench. How did he play at safety for Ryan Neal? yesterday when you went back and watched the film?
He did a decent job. He did a very decent job. We kind of move him around, corner, strong, free, nickel. He kind of does everything back there for us, but we know he can catch the ball. He studies a lot during the week, and it pays off for him a lot.
Bay led you in sacks last year with 6.5. And he's already got 3.5 this year. If you kept that up, it'd be like 15 or so. So for a guy his size that gets double teams as much as he does, I mean, has that part of his game really increased in terms of getting the quarterback on the ground?
I think he started using his hands more. He's not trying to go side to side. He's trying to power, make one move, and go. He started using his hands more, and he's very powerful once he starts using his hands.
Todd, your red zone offense wasn't a strength the first 3 games, and the Saints, I think, were number 3 in red zone defense. But you guys went 3 for 4 yesterday and did that with touchdowns to Ott, Palmer, and Tompkins, kind of not the bread and butter of this offense. How much do you think it helps to have confidence in the depth you have in the passing game?
It's good to spread it around. We know once we get down there, there's going to be a premium to cover Mike and to cover Chris. So the other guys have to step up, and, we got some guys, I call them the puppy pound, or at least I call them that kind of stepped up and played pretty good yesterday. So we're happy about it.
Todd, you've seen Kevin Tompkins make a lot of those acrobatic plays in practice here. But to see him do it in a game when it matters, what can you say about DT's performance yesterday?
He's a competitor. He only knows one speed. He practiced like that. He plays like that. He's coming into his own. He's doing a great job for us on special teams. He's making his way as a receiver now, and he's starting to show up. He can run reverses. He can catch the ball. He can run routes. He's probably thinking he's a 250-pound player where he's a 150-pound player, but he's tough that way, and we really rely on him.
Whether it was a big third down conversion to Godwin to keep the drive going late in the game or the Tompkins touchdown, the team's showing up in big moments and in crunch time. Can you speak about just everyone getting the job done in clutch moments?
Situational football. We talk about it all the time. We practice it. We watch film on it. Those guys come through. And, again, with Chris coming up with that play with Baker, our veterans step up when they need to.
Coach, what can you say about Baker's durability? After taking that late hit against the Saints, can you say from his performance?
Baker's tough. I sit up here all the time. You don't want him taking too many of those. But he's tough. He's gritty. He's a very smart football player. He's a competitor. He's been like that his whole life. It hasn't changed. He has a lot to prove. He's having fun out there. He understands the offense. He's using every piece of weapon that we give him, and he's having a good time.
Todd, usually the Saints have got a pretty solid special teams unit all the way around from returns, coverage, kicking, etc. But do you feel like you guys won the special teams battle yesterday by keeping Rashid Shaheed to just that 129-yard return? I know you had some penalties you'd like to have back, but did your special teams stack up against the Saints yesterday?
I mean, we didn't give them the big one, so that was important for us. I thought it was about even for the most part. The penalties kind of put us behind a little bit, but I thought they ran and covered well, and we didn't get any kicks blocked.
How do you think the outside linebackers did from a production standpoint?
I think they did their job for what we were getting. The ball was coming out quick quite a bit. Wasn't really trying to rush the passer because the ball was coming out so fast, but I thought they were solid all the way around.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Doug.